What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy TTG here with another video. This video is a little different than the ones we've been doing in the past. We have some breaking news from University of Florida Athletic Director Scott Stricklin. Not news that I'm fond of, especially at this point in the year. But yeah, let's get into it, and then I'll share my thoughts. We're going to go over a few things. And yeah, well, I'll let you come to your own decision. Don't listen to me. Here we go. All right, so this is the breaking news I wanted to share with y'all. We're just going to read it real quick. This is on the official Florida Gators Twitter page. I also seen it on Facebook. Anyway, here we go. Gator Nation, that's us. Or if you're watching this video and you're just going to laugh at Florida fans or the University of Florida, as you should, guys that are tuning in, here we go. Gator Nation, I wanted to let you know that Billy Napier will continue as head football coach for the Florida Gators. Really? It is November 7th. Billy has we'll get into that in a minute. As we've seen the past several weeks, the young men on this team represent what it means to be a Gator. I agree. Their resolve, effort, and execution are evident in their performance and growth each week, building a foundation that promises greater success next season and beyond. Really? Now, I can agree that they have showed resolve. I can agree that they're growing each week. What makes you think, with the way Billy has handled this team in the last 3 years, that that we're going to be a championship caliber team under him 1 year? Because I don't see it. UF's commitment to excellence and a championship caliber program is unwavering. Really? That's interesting. That's interesting, Scott. In these times of change across college athletics, we are dedicated to a disciplined, stable approach that is focused on long-term sustained success for Gator athletics, recruits, and fans. You're not. What, Scott? I would love to have a one-on-one conversation with you. I'll reach out to you. I'm too small, don't have enough pull to probably be able to speak with you. What do you see in Billy Napier that leads you to believe that we will have sustained success under him? Because we've had exactly the opposite, sustained unsuccess. We'll get into that in a minute. I'm confident that Billy will meet the challenges and opportunities ahead. We will work alongside him to support any changes needed to elevate Gator football. So, in this offseason, a lot of fans wanted you to hire a offense coordinator. Billy too stubborn, said no. Now look where we're at. As college athletics evolves, UF is committed to embracing innovation and strategy, ensuring the Gators thrive in today's competitive landscape. Yeah, you mean like the money the boosters forked up for the standalone football facility? We're among the nation's leaders in NIL, and this is the product we're getting. We are either going to be 5-7 this year, at the very best 6-6, or 4-8. That doesn't sound like a plan for long-term success and a return to the boosters' investment on the standalone football facility and NIL. Gator Nation has remained strong, showing up game after game to stand with our team, and they're probably going to continue doing that, although I won't be there. I'm not going to waste my money with a coach that just... Now, I would love to be wrong about Billy. Let me explain. I'll explain that after this. This loyalty creates an incredible environment that inspires our players to compete with heart and determination. Agree 100%. Now I'll call on all of Gator Nation to continue standing behind Billy and his dedicated team while we work to build a championship program. Go Gators, Scott Stricklin. All right. So that's one, right? So, look, the comments here should tell you everything you need to know. Vols, let's go. Robert McVall, smart decision. Oh, man, we're not going to get too much into Twitter because that may get me banned. All right, first of all, let me just say, I've always been a huge Billy Napier guy. He's the guy I wanted when we fired Dan Mullen. That's who I wanted. It's okay to be wrong. Just like if Billy was to come back and win a national championship in 2 or 3 years, I would gladly admit I'm wrong. But there's nothing that I've seen, and you can tell me, Gator fans, what do you see that leads you to believe that could be the case? I don't see it. So first, what we're going to do is we've read what Scott Stricklin says. Let's go through things that are unarguable, I guess. Unbiased, and that's the numbers. Let's look at Billy's numbers since he's been at Florida and see what Scott Stricklin sees that I'm not seeing. All right, here we go. We'll go year by year. Billy's first year was 2022. Now, albeit, I'll be the first to admit, not left an ideal situation by Dan Mullen, but just for instance, other teams that hired coaches this year, like LSU, had probably comparable rosters. Not even gonna lie to you. I think probably even at this time, probably better potential at quarterback. Probably with the running backs Billy brought in, probably better running backs than LSU. Anyway, LSU went on in their first year to play in the SEC championship. Billy went 6-7. So here we go. Where is the schedule? Here we go. Schedule. Florida, Utah. I told so many lies after this game, not gonna lie. Number 7, Utah comes to the Swamp. We upset them. The very next week, where was this game at? Okay, so it was at home. Kentucky comes to the Swamp and beats us, which has become a theme under Dan Mullen and Billy Napier both. Billy did win this year. Probably the worst Kentucky team in a while. South Florida, we barely pull off a win, 31-28. Lose to Tennessee. Not necessarily becoming a theme under Billy Napier, but we'll talk about this year's Tennessee game when we get there. Anyway, so this year he beat Utah, good win. South Florida, I should win that game every year. Eastern Washington, Missouri, Texas A&M, and South Carolina. This year he also loses to Vanderbilt, Florida State, Oregon State. I mean, embarrassing bowl loss. I know we didn't have a quarterback. Well, we had a quarterback, just wasn't very good, which is also probably Billy Napier's lack of talent acquisition through the portal. So I'm just going to write down a few things. I'm going to write a record right here, and we're going to keep up with it as we go. First year 1, 6-7, and let's just go ranked, and then we'll go rival. Okay, and we're just going to go through each one of these. I wouldn't consider Kentucky a rival, but we're going to keep up with it anyway. So he's we'll go win, loss. So he did beat a ranked team, but then he lost to a ranked team, and he also lost to Kentucky. So then he lost another ranked game to Tennessee, and Tennessee is definitely a rival. So we'll go loss there. LSU is a rival in my opinion. Lost that one. Georgia definitely a rival. Lost that one, and another ranked loss. Florida State, definitely a rival. Lost that one, and that's another ranked loss. So, and he lost to Oregon State. So, in year 1, 1-5 versus ranked teams, and 0-5 against rivals, people I would consider rivals. All right, moving on to the next year. What a fantastic first year, right? But again, not left an ideal situation from Dan Mullen. I'll be the first to admit that. I'm not afraid to admit that. All right, here we go. 2023, year 2, you should start seeing the trend in the culture and the product on the field start to trend upwards in year 2, in my opinion. He gets Graham Mertz out of the portal. Love Graham Mertz. I questioned that acquisition at first, but it ended up paying off. I think Graham Mertz did the job we asked him to. So then we play Utah again at Utah. A ranked game, Billy loses. McNeese State, Tennessee. We beat Tennessee, big home win and a ranked win. So we'll go win for UT. Charlotte, Kentucky, loses again to Kentucky, unranked Kentucky. Beats Vanderbilt, at least he's 1-1 against Vandy. Another top 25 loss to Georgia and another loss to Georgia. Then we've got LSU, another ranked loss. So Missouri, another ranked loss. Oh man, he's really racking up these ranked losses. And Florida State, another ranked loss. Okay. So we're going to go, who was that? LSU, another loss for LSU, another loss for FSU. All right, so after year 2, he went, what did he go this year? 5-7, I think? Yeah, 5-7. 5-7 overall. And so far through 2 years, 2-10 versus ranked teams, 0-2 versus Kentucky, 1-1 versus Tennessee, 0-2 versus LSU, 0-2 versus Georgia, 0-2 versus Florida State. By the way, I'm pretty sure. All right, here we go. We won't even talk about it. We're just going to go straight on what we can prove. 2024, so far, 4-4. So let's look at the schedule this year. This should be painfully obvious to you guys. And we're going to talk, after we look at what we can prove, I'm going to give you a couple opinions and then we'll move on. It is what it is at this point. It's laughable. So another ranked loss to Miami. Oh, and we'll add Miami to the list of rivals, even though we don't play every year. So in-state rivalry means a lot in recruiting. All right. Tennessee. And everybody talked how hard our schedule was. So far, we were 4-4, and we played 2 ranked teams. Just saying. At the time of playing them. Now, obviously, A&M ended up being a little better than I thought. We'll go another ranked loss to Tennessee and another loss to Tennessee. And then we've got another loss to Georgia and another ranked loss. So far, and it's just going to get worse, guys, I'm telling you. We play 3 more ranked teams back-to-back, and then Florida State, who's abysmal at the end of the year. So, as of right now, let me do a little math. Okay, that's easy math. Overall, Billy Napier is 15-18 at the University of Florida, and we are in year 3 of an era where talent acquisition is as easy as it's ever been with the transfer portal and NIL. So, just saying. Look at Mike Elko, for instance. Year 1 at Texas A&M. Texas A&M was not in a pretty bad situation when he got there. Now, they have a bunch of resources, and he hit the portal hard. He knows what he's doing, and look what they're doing. They're competing they're top 5 in the SEC right now by almost every numerical statistic, and they're beating really good teams and came to the Swamp and beat us down. So, 15-18, ranked wins, 2-13 against ranked top 25 ranked teams. Florida is a program that should be top 15 every year with the resources, the facilities, the state of Florida as far as recruiting goes. No problem to be a top 15 team every year. I'm not asking to make the playoff every year. I'm not asking to win a national championship every year. We should be competing though, right? Okay, and we're not. We're not. So here's his record against rivals. 0-2 versus Kentucky. 1-2 versus Tennessee. 0-2 versus LSU. Gonna be 0-3 versus LSU, by the way. Oh, I forgot. I added, he was 1-2 versus Kentucky. Sorry. 1-2. Gonna be 0-3 versus LSU. 0-3 versus Georgia with no end in sight. Kirby's building a monster up there, and we are just falling behind in recruiting. And it's bad how bad he is outcoached every time that game happens. He was outcoached. I won't say he was outcoached this time because I think if Lagway doesn't get hurt, he may even pull the upset. Doesn't change the fact that in most games he's costing us rather than helping us, right? 0-2 versus LSU or FSU probably should be 1-2 this year. If Lagway's is still hurt, which I'm hearing the injury's not as significant as we thought. So we should win that game, but if somehow we lose that game, that's bad. And 0-1 versus Miami. So those are just statistical facts. You can't argue them. That is what he has done at Florida with the brand new standalone football facility, the numerous amount of money he has received in NIL funds, the huge staff he was allowed to hire. This is the results we're getting, and it's not cutting it. So, just looking back, just for instance, let me look at this schedule. What are games that Billy cost us in coaching? I think A&M in Florida, I think Billy's play calling and coaching cost us that game. I think we're probably pretty similar to A&M as far as roster goes. I think we definitely have the better quarterbacks. I think running backs are probably equal. A&M probably has a little bit better defense overall, but it came down to coaching, and we were out-coached by our first-year head coach at A&M. All right. Let's see here. Tennessee 100% lies at the feet of Billy Napier. There's no reason we should not have beat Tennessee this year. Tennessee is a better team, in my opinion, when you look at roster, when you look at, just years in the program, I guess. But we were predicted to lose that game. We fought hard, and the only reason we lost is because of Billy Napier. 100%. 100%, no question. Just like last year, the only reason we lost to Arkansas at home, probably one of the more embarrassing losses I've ever seen in Florida history, besides Georgia Southern and Vanderbilt in year 1 under Napier, Arkansas. Horrible time management, horrible play calling, cost us the Arkansas game. End of story. Now, what has Scott Stricklin seen to make him think Billy is still the guy? Don't know. Now, we're going to take a look at the recruiting class for this upcoming year, because Billy, make no mistake about it, Billy has been pretty decent in acquiring talent in high school. I mean, that's just part of it. That's what he's better at, I guess. Let's see where he stands this year. Kids are starting to see what Billy's tenure is going to look like at Florida. A lot of them are probably thinking he's going to get fired, and rightfully so. Holy crap, where are we? I knew we were bad, but are we not top 50? Hey, does this thing go any deeper? Let's go SEC. We are 15th in the SEC, brother. Behind teams that also have a first-year head coach, or that have a coach, a new coach. Mississippi State, Arkansas, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Kentucky, Missouri. We are behind everybody but Vanderbilt. And to be honest, I mean, we're a pretty good ways ahead of Vanderbilt, not gonna lie. Look at we're never going to compete with these guys recruiting like this. I'm just going to be honest. It's not fathomable. Why are we keeping this guy? I'm not saying we should fire him, but let the season play out. Why are we promising this guy another year? What if we go into Texas and look horrible? What if we look horrible the rest of the year and then lose to Florida State at the end of the year? There's no way this clown should keep his job. There's no way. So what I'm asking is, what are they seeing? Am I missing something? Now, have we looked better since the first bye week of the season? Absolutely. We have. Better is not good. Competing is not good enough for me. I want to win. The only thing that matters to me at the end of the day is winning. That's what you hire a coach to do. If I was as bad at my job as Billy Napier was in 3 years, I would have been fired 2 years ago. So what makes this guy? I do not understand it. I don't get it. What does the future look like with Billy Napier? I think pretty bleak. I showed you the recruiting rankings. Obviously, I think we're going to climb some, and maybe Scott Stricklin coming out and saying that we're keeping Billy Napier a help, but it's delaying the inevitable, man. Next year's schedule is bad as well. But what are we going to do this offseason to get that much better? He's shown that he's not. I mean, he did get some guys, I guess, in the portal this offseason that helped. A lot of them are banged up. I guess you can make that excuse for him. We're injured. But build depth. If Georgia has 5, 6, 10 injuries in a game, they're going to be just fine, especially against a team they should beat, right? Oh, it's so frustrating. All right. And then what about Stricklin's future? If we look at not just football, but some of the other hires Stricklin has made, a lot of questionable hires. Did he hire? Let me look up something real quick before I speak out of my butt. Who hired Mike White at Florida? Pretty sure. Okay, so maybe it wasn't Mike. Might not have hired Mike White. Anyway. I don't know. Don't really care about. Anyway, some of his hires haven't been the best. The most successful coaches that have been at Florida, with the exception of Todd Golden, I think Todd Golden was a good hire by Stricklin. But one hire shouldn't save your job. There's been a lot of scandals going on. I'm not going to get into it because a lot of them are speculation. Some of them have been proven true, but there's been a lot of controversy there, to say the least. I have no confidence in Scott Stricklin if he will come out right now and say that we're keeping Billy Napier. No matter what happens the rest of the year, I have no confidence in him making the next head coaching hire at Florida anyway. So fire Scott Stricklin first and then fire Billy Napier. That's what the train I'm on. I was willing to give Billy the rest of this year too, because we have looked a little better. But if we lose every game the rest of the year, including that Florida State game of the year, he needs to be gone. There's no reason we should come out now and say, other than maybe we're trying to help recruiting. Maybe we're trying to ensure the recruits that Billy's going to be there. But other than that, I'm not sure what was the point of making that statement today, other than to make Florida fans mad. And if you go on Twitter, Florida fans are melting down. Don't blame you. I'm not melting down because I knew Scott Stricklin was he's just unserious about our football program, obviously. The amount of money we've dumped in and the return on investment we're getting does not add up at all. So Like I said, the future of Florida football is bleak in my opinion. Now, again, as I said, I was a huge Billy Napier guy, even coming into this year. Despite him not showing me anything the first 2 years, I was still huge on Billy Napier. Ask any of my friends that know me. I was hyped. I thought we'd have a great year. I was hyped for Lagway. I'm hyped for a lot of the young receivers, our young backs. Our defense is improving, but we just come out and what Billy is great at is snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. Games where we are in and should have a chance to win, he will find a way to lose that game. Anyway, you may not agree with me, and that's fine. That's what's great about America. Everybody has their own opportunity to form their own decisions. Take what I've given you. Some of it's fact, some of it is opinion, obviously. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think maybe Scott Stricklin is doing this to try to keep DJ and company at Florida? I think that's a lost cause. If you have DJ and other great players stay, like Miles Graham, McCray, some guys, some big recruits that Billy has landed, and I'll give him credit for that. If you're trying to keep these guys, go talk to them, give them more money, pay them to stay or something. They should not have to stay and have games that they should win end in failure because of their coach. End of story. Now, has he, like I said, I'll give credit where it's due. He's built a pretty good culture from what I can tell. The kids play for him. Pretty good at recruiting other than this year. And other than that, yeah, he hired a pretty large staff. I don't know why he won't hire an offense coordinator, because his play calling just, at times his play calling's good, and at times his play calling is like, what the hell, man? Have you ever watched a football game? So it's just inconsistency with me. Maybe he's got too much on his plate. Anyway, it's been your boy TTG, #1 Florida fan. I'm going to continue rooting for Florida regardless. Hopefully we win this weekend at Texas. And yeah, go Gators.